Right. Hey guys, my name is Henry Gold. Today I'm in with Walter Bayliss. Walter is one of the smartest entrepreneurs and that I have ever met in my life, and he has built millions of dollars in business. And a lot of people know as Walter as one of the best guy. He's a savvy marketer. He's also a humble person, as well as a person that people go to for a lot of suggestion in terms of how to build a software business. Now today I have this privilege to interview him is as he's one of the person that I respect in my life and in my business. So Walter, welcome to the call.
Hey, thanks very much, mate. And for the people who are watching, wow, to have the privilege of talking with Henry Gold is amazing. I've known Henry for many years, and to have him say that he's impressed to interview me is very humbling for me because honestly, mate, I have so much respect for you and what you've achieved over your lifetime. I remember when we met face to face for the first time in a restaurant in California. I was blown away to meet you. So I'm thrilled to spend some time with you, man.
Well, thank you so much, Walter, for the nice words that you gave it to the audience and to me as well. So, Walter, a lot of time, when people listen to this conversation, they feel like, Walt, you have done so much in your life, and then you have a lot of success. You built, like the last time when we spoke, you did over like $900-something thousand in a year type of business. Now, a lot of people see that is amazing, but you must have some sort of humble beginning that people do not know about, even though I heard about that before, but I want you to share with the audience in here so that they can relate that more with you.
Yeah, sure. So I think importantly, when people are looking at interviews like this and hearing from all these amazing people, what the most important thing is to realize that there's nothing special about anybody that has those successful stories. Everybody has 24 hours in the day. As strange as it sounds, and you can feel free to edit this out. I used to tell myself even Bill Gates has to go to the toilet. Do you know what I mean? Like I used to say to myself that even the people that you think to yourself they've reached something amazing, they're still human beings and they still have 24 hours in the day. They still eat breakfast. They still have to go to the toilet. So my beginnings were I was working a job, working for someone else, and I had an idea for a software program, and it was to do with managing money, which we give away for free. I'm happy to give it in your show notes. If you'd like to give it away to your readers as well. I had this idea and I got a friend of mine to build this program because I don't know anything about building software. I'm not that smart. Even though I own a software company, I have smart people that do that for me. So I had this idea and I got this friend to build it for me. And then we weren't making any sales because I didn't know anything about marketing. I didn't know anything about the internet. So I've been doing this for about 8 years now. So as we're recording this, it's 2017. That makes it just 2009. So I had no skills in this area. I had no clue. My friend built this program, and it still exists today. And I learned about websites. I stayed up nights. I watched tutorials. I read everything I could read, and I just started to do something. Like I'd read something and try it, and I'd read something and try it. For two years, we literally made no money at all. But I spent a lot of money. I spent a lot of money on trying to take shortcuts. I spent a lot of money on advertising. And then like a light bulb went off for me, Henry. I said to myself, hey, I'm spending all this money on advertising. I should be the guy selling the advertising, not actually trying to sell the product. And that same day that I had that realization, I bought a very cheap program. I think it was about $25. Which allowed me to set up a website that sold advertising. And that day that I made that change from trying to sell the product to trying to sell the advertising, we made money online. And the first transaction that we ever made was $9. Right, the first money that we ever made was $9 online. And from then I learned about setting up that website better and getting what we now know as JV partners and affiliates to come in and promote, and things just grew. But we didn't grow to $1 million business, Henry. And I think that's something that's important for people to realize is that we grew in small steps. So first we made $9, and when you realize that you can make 9, then if you do the same thing again, you can make 18. If you do the same thing again, you can make 36 and 72 and 144, however many you want to go up to. But if you can realize that it's the same thing that you need to do just again and again and again, you can step your way up. So over a period of years, we built this. And one of the things, I know our time is limited this morning, so I'm more than happy to do a follow-up call with you. But one of the things that I realized, and for anybody that's listening, the best way to find something to make money from is to look around you and ask yourself, what do people need? Okay, I have 2 beautiful children, 2 daughters, and I tell them all the time, find a big problem to solve. If people have got a problem and you can find a way to solve that problem, then you can make money by doing that. So when you're out in your society and around you, if you're marketing online, something that you might be frustrated by. I'm frustrated by the fact that I can't do this, this, and this. Well, write it down on paper and get it across to some of the outsourcing sites like Odesk or Freelancer, and somebody will build that for you. So write down the problem and see if you can get a solution, and then you'll have a marketplace. So the most important thing, I think, is looking at society, looking at a community, and seeing if there's a problem you can solve. And then, over the period of the last 8 years, we've been able to solve those problems by creating something. We see a problem, I follow the same steps myself. I write it down, what it should be the solution, and then I ask people, hey, can you build this for me? How much will it cost? And then I can take it forward and say, okay, now I have it. We start to do the marketing and we go through. And yeah, now we're at a point where we're not just making $1 million, but we have $1 million in recurring income. So we actually have, so following those steps from making $9 from one transaction, we've been able to build that by solving problems up to a point where now we have a recurring income of $1 million before we even start the next year. So, it's small steps, but they just all add up together.
Wow, that's amazing. Here's the thing, Walt, what is your why? What is your big why doing this? Because a lot of people, they just watch Netflix, that is their why.
Yeah,
but
sure. So I think for me, the big one, and you probably hear this a lot, the big one for me is freedom. And I don't just mean financial freedom. I mean freedom from stress and freedom from being under somebody else's power. So as I said, I have 2 beautiful children, and I've been able to spend my time with them in their early years, which is so valuable. It just goes so fast. So I've been able to drop them off to school and pick them up from school, and I sit with them and do homework, and we spend weekends together. You can't do that if you have a job. All of their friends who go to the same school, dad leaves at 7 o'clock in the morning. He doesn't get home until 8 o'clock at night. He only sees them for, half an hour, one point of the week or whatever. That's not freedom for me. And the other thing is, I've had so many good friends, and my brother, as a good example, have had good jobs, and then they come into work the next day and they've been made redundant. And, so they come in, they've got a house, they have to pay their mortgage, they have children at school, they have to pay their bills, and they go into work, something that they depend on, and they go into work and they find out that work's not there anymore. For me, that's not something that I can handle. I don't want to have that fear of having that taken away from me. So being an entrepreneur is extremely risky because you don't get to have a paycheck every week. But if you recognize that you're able to create anything, I could turn around with you right now, with anybody on this call right now, and we could put our heads together and we could create something, and then we could find a market for it. If you realize that you have that skill and ability, then entrepreneurship, sure, it's risky, but you mitigate or you eliminate the risk by recognizing your own ability to perform in that circumstance. So for me, the why is freedom. And somebody asked me about 6 years ago, because I was talking about being a millionaire and doing all that sort of stuff. And they were saying, yeah, but Walt, why do you want to do that? What are you going to do with all of that? And I said, for me, what I want to do is teach other people that they're alive. For the easiest way to say it, Henry, that they have the ability to make decisions and control their life. So many people, and this is my passion, so many people wake up in the morning and they go to sleep at night and they repeat that pattern for 40 years. And then they go, my God, what's happened to my life? So my whole thing is, with that freedom that building this style of business has created for me, what I want to be able to do now is to take that freedom and be able to just to speak to groups and speak to people and educate from stage, talk to schools, whatever, and tell people to wake up, realize that this is the day, this is the life, you have the control. If you don't like where you are, you can change it. You can make a decision today to change anything in your life. And you can change everything around you by a simple act of a decision. And most people don't even recognize that they have that power. So that's my why, Henry, is to first of all, to take away the stress of needing to worry about finances and money, and to give myself the freedom of life that I can then grow with my family and move that through into a community feel of education and help other people move along the same road.
Wow, I like your energy. I like the information that you share, because a lot of times, even for me myself, I felt that before a few years ago, I felt like I'm like always like this way all the time in the same pattern. I couldn't break it. Now, even a few years ago, I still felt the same thing. Like, hey, how come in June and July, I always do this? In August, September, October, I always do this all the time.
Yeah.
So what he's trying to say in here is, you've got to keep moving every single day. You just have to keep breaking the pattern every single day. So once you keep breaking the pattern every single day, then your life is going to be different every single moment, instead of being, in the same mediocre life all the time, right?
And you know what? Like there's times that there are things that you don't want to do. And I have a great quote by Muhammad Ali up on my wall here, and it says, "I hated every day of training, but I told myself, do it now and live like a champion," right? So there's going to be times that you're talking about this pattern, right? And so many times people are in the same pattern, or, like I said, they go to work, they wake up, they do this, they have the same fight with their spouse, they have the same pattern that they go through, right? The thing is, like, just stop it. Just turn it off. If you look at this like a radio frequency wave, just turn off the station. Just turn it off completely and pick a new path. And as difficult as that is, it can be as simple. We were talking before we started on the call about losing weight on purpose. It can be as simple as eating an apple today. It can be as simple as going for a run today. It can be as simple as doing something that you don't normally do, which can be the beginning of a whole new pattern. Right? And that means that you have that power to literally make that choice right now, every single moment. If there's something that you don't like about your life, you have the power to change it. And you can do that as simply as making the decision to do it and then committing to that decision. Like Muhammad Ali said, committing. I don't like to go to training, but I told myself to do it so that I could live like a champion. If you put yourself and say, I don't want to go for a run. I don't want to make that phone call. I don't want to study at night. I don't want to stay up at night. Do it. Do it, because if you can do it now, you'll have the rewards for the rest of your life. But it's a matter of take a deep breath, turn off the station, and do something different in a direction that you choose. And that can be the beginning of a whole new path.
Wow, that's completely awesome, because I completely agree with you on this. Wow, even for me right now, even though I'm doing this recording itself, I'm going to review again and again what you just mentioned, because it's resonating with my heart. And I need to change the pattern itself. So let me ask you one last question here, okay? So if somebody is in the beginning stage right now, they're in the humble beginning, they almost get the electricity turned off or anything like that, what will you give them suggestion in terms of achieve greatness in their life?
Okay, cool. So first things first, recognize that that everybody starts with that beginning. There's not a baby that's born on the planet that has a company that is worth millions on the first day that they're born. That just doesn't happen like that, right? So everybody has that humble beginning. The second thing I will tell people is that, the entrepreneurial journey will not rocket you to success overnight unless you're that 1 in a million, and chances are that you're not. So what do I mean by that? I mean, if you're just at the beginnings, right, don't quit your job. Right? Go and get a job. Go and get a second job. Work at night. All right. If you're in danger of having the lights cut off and you find yourself in financial trouble, go and work at McDonald's, go and work at the library, go and work wherever you can find a job. Go and do something. But when you get that job, do it to the best of your ability. If you're working in a job and you're just there taking the money, you're not going to do anything with it. If you go to work and even if you think to yourself, I've got this job for 6 months while I do something else, then make that the best 6 months you've ever done. Like put everything you've got even into that terrible job, right? Because you'll feel better yourself that you can do something amazing, even if you hate it, right? So first things first, protect yourself, protect your family. Protect yourself by getting income coming in the door, by reducing your expenses, by feeding yourself and your family in any way that you can, and do that to the best of your ability. Now, that's probably strange advice because you were thinking I was going to say something else. But they always say on an airplane, when you're flying, right, when they're doing the safety demonstration, they say if there's danger, the oxygen mask will come down. And if you've got children with you, put your own mask on first before you help your children. Now, as a father, I go, no, help my children first. But the reason they say that is if you don't put your own mask on first, you might die. And those people can't help you because they're too little, they're too small. They don't have the ability to help you. But if you are surviving, you can help them. So what I'm saying is put your own mask on first. Look after your finances, look after your health, get yourself into a stable position and work your tail off. Get as much as you can into that position. Work as hard as you can so that it's secure. And then put an hour a night, 2 hours a night, study until midnight, study until 3 a.m. on the project on the side and just work that. Now, that's a humble beginning, right? We say, I'm working in a car park here in the day. I've got a job at McDonald's for 5 hours a week. So I've got 3 hours at nighttime after my children go to sleep. Those 3 hours, you need to pour it on, drink a coffee and just keep going. Because I promise you this from my heart. I promise you this from my heart. If you keep going, regardless of how many obstacles are in your way, then Henry Gold will be interviewing you in 8 years' time with an amazing success story because you've managed to keep coming through. So get the lights turned on by stabilizing the external factors and then bring all your power internally and just do what needs to be done.
Wow. This is the first interview ever that I'm just in wow, and I have to review it. I have to rewind it myself over and over again because this is just a reminder, basically your success coming from being persistent, regardless whether that project is going to success or fail. You're just going to give 100% and 100%. And then let the universe show the outcome to you.
That's it.
And then when the outcome good or bad, you are going to find a way to improve it in the future.
That's it. I had a good friend of mine, somebody that I used to work for actually. He always used to say to me, in any situation, I either earn from it or learn from it. And so even if whatever you're working on doesn't turn into the $1 million business, the skill, the ability, the knowledge that you'll pick up there will drive you forward along that path. It's almost like you're starting on a bicycle and everything you add to it adds power. You add an engine, you add bigger wheels, you add another set of wheels. Everything you're building adds onto it. And finally, you're in a Ferrari and you're going a rocket speed. But that didn't happen in one jump. It happened in lots of little jumps that you probably didn't even realize. But you hit it on the head, Henry. Because the most important thing is that you do it with everything that you have. If you do it like, I don't really care about it, then how can you even possibly imagine that it's going to work? If you do it with everything that you have, with everything from your heart into whatever project that is, then the universe says, hey, dude, this is amazing. Let's see what happens here, right? And you just keep pushing. If you pour yourself into it, I guarantee you that the results will follow. You just have to keep pushing it through.
Well, I wish to bring you back the next time. That's for sure, and I'm just going to count on you on that. Walt, since we are running out of time, what is let's say this, if people want to get in touch with you, they want to learn from you, what is the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Great question. Thank you for that. You can find me on Facebook. It's facebook.com/Walt Bayliss, or you can hit my website, waltbayliss.com. I'm publishing all kinds of stuff there all the time about success and getting better and all that kind of stuff. So waltbayliss.com, and just hit the little subscribe button, and I'd be thrilled to join you on any of the journeys. And just to finish off, there's a saying that says, with faith the size of a mustard seed, you can move mountains. Now, I'm not talking about religion. I'm talking about faith, and that means belief. Because the word faith means to eliminate all other options. To eliminate all other options. And if you have faith, the size of a mustard seed, you can move mountains. Have faith, believe in yourself, and just move the mountain, because there's no other option if you just focus on getting it done.
Well, what is your website again? Can you repeat that to the audience? W-A-L-T.
Yeah, WaltBayliss.com, waltbayliss.com. And up at the top right, you'll see a connect with me.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry about that.
Cool, no worries.
So WaltBayliss.com, right?
Perfect. WaltBayliss.com, WaltBayliss.com.
Well, thank you so much, Walt, for the great information. I'm definitely going to follow you up, and then I definitely want to be able to learn from you as well. So, guys, if you listen to this conversation, make sure that you follow Walt all the way until the end. Thank you so much, Walt.
Awesome, mate. Thank you so much. Stay well, everyone. Speak to you soon.
Bye-bye.